Y'all got y'all teacups? Grab your cups. I got some tea. Let's sip. Listen, if you are watching me over on the YT, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. People are telling me that they have been unsubscribed, and people are telling me that they thought they were subscribed to my channel only to realize that they weren't. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. There's some trickery going on. Okay? Okay. Now, y'all remember that all-white community out there in the Ozark Mountains? I believe it was Arkansas. Return of the Land, something of the land. Y'all remember that? All-white community? Well, while I was sitting in the chair on yesterday getting my pedicure, I was scrolling over there in those nasty, filthy, dirty Twitter streets, and I came across this. The leader of that community's name is Eric Orwell. And the Daily Mail did an expose. The leader of the whites-only enclave starred in series of live stream porno videos with his wife for cash. They were having relations on camera for cash, in my opinion, to build that whites-only community. Now you can go on over to the Google and search for the Daily Mail. But I'm going to tell you right now, they got it behind a paywall. And yeah, I'm not paying to read the article, especially when I found another article that pretty much gives me a synopsis of what the Daily Mail reported. And here's a snippet of that article that I found. The front man behind a whites-only community in remote Arkansas who touts its residents' conservative values has a history of starring in sex for tips online porn videos, according to the Daily Mail. Several of those show Eric Orwell and his now ex-wife continuously checking for comments and donations while the two have relations in front of a live webcam. One video with at least 29,000 views, for example, features Orwell's former wife, Caitlin Smith, looking directly into the camera, flitting her tongue provocatively and saying, "Yay, thank you, 101 tokens," a way to tip on her online porn service, then blowing a kiss to the viewer who gave them, all while Orwell does his thing from behind. Let's sip. Sweet.
Hello there, folks. I really hope you're doing fine from whichever part of the world you're watching this from. My name is Dave KE and this is Real Talk Black. Now, we all know that there was a movement by some certain white supremacists trying to form a whites-only town in Ozark, that is in Arkansas. And recently there has been some discussion going on online about their leader. And we all know that in the remote hills of Ozark Mountains, that is in the northern Arkansas, a controversial experiment has been quietly underway since 2023. And about these white supremacists trying to build a whites-only city from scratch. And at its helm is their leader is known as Eric Orwell, who was joined by the co-founder Peter Cicere, both whom seek to build what they call a fortress for the white race. In their own words, you want a white nation, then you build a white town. But what began as a fringe, privately organized community has recently come under intense scrutiny, not just for its segregationist aims, but also for the personal reputations of its leaders and their disturbing associations with extremist ideologies. So I came across a few clips about this whole situation. Let's dive in, let's have a look at this video and then have a really quick discussion and unpack it at the end. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys around.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills, in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only.
Now, watching this video, I'm struck by how good of an idea this is. Yes, let's quarantine racists to the woods, and they can just live in a seasoning-free zone, and they can just live out their bland, bigoted existence without bothering me. I like this. These white folks said they're done with everybody. They don't want no soul food, no salsa, no Szechuan chicken. They don't want no catfish, gefilte fish. They don't want no hummus. They don't want no naan bread. No, they want venison, boiled goose, and bratwurst. That's the extent of the palate you finna get in this town. So, in Return to the Land, if you're taking all kinds of races, I hope you take the covert races too, because man, I'm having a hard time sifting out who's who. Because if all the kinds of racists is there, I know that the white folks who's left is actually cool. I mean, this is so good for them undercover haters, because they can get out my comment section pretending to be objective and actually live free, to be who they really are among folk just like them. I can hear the real estate commercials now. Tired of black folks knocking you the fuck out because you thought the N-word was for everybody? Return to the land. Tired of those pesky immigrants building your houses and picking your fruit? Well, now you can deport yourself if you return to the land. Tired of those men in drag reading books to your kids that aren't the Bible? Well, now you can cross-dress with other repressed Christian cowboys in your very own Brokeback Mountain. Just return to the land. It's crazy to me how these racists are taking their ball and going home like it's our laws. Like, punk, don't nobody want white neighbors like you. You're doing us a favor. They don't see how the critique they have for immigrants is really like true for them. Like, dog, it's you who's not assimilating into America as it is. You're the one having the problem with everybody having constitutionally guaranteed rights because you seem to be allergic to fairness. You're the one literally running with your tail tucked to the woods because you're afraid of the demographic shift that you caused. So you and your hunting buddies go to the woods and do whatever redneck Game of Thrones bullshit you was gonna do without black folks interrupting you. Because in about 2 generations, it ain't gonna be nothing but cousins up there for you to breed with, but you know, some of y'all used to that anyway. And maybe like 5 generations from now, your racism will have mutated your DNA and ain't gonna be nothing but White Walkers over there, getting moonburned and smelling like the Dark Ages. And then after your mutated offspring eat each other in a cannibalistic orgy, maybe Return to the Land will return the land to who it belonged to in the first place, because the Native Americans, they've been waiting on this. So bye, Billy Bob. America will be so much greater without you.
In my house, there was an understanding that there was some semblance that what we believed and what we were taught and what we learned about in the house wasn't what other people believed. Wasn't what other people were taught, wasn't what other people were learning about. And that, in fact, what we believed wasn't exactly socially acceptable. And so on some level, it needed to be kind of hidden away in a lot of cases. And there's something implicit in that, where these people must admit that there's a problem there, right? If you can't be open about what your beliefs are, if you can't just be upfront about it, then there's a problem happening there. And for this guy, in his private little group chat, he's using racist language, he's dismissing the Holocaust, but then when he's forced to stand there with a camera on his face, he turns into a coward, and he can't stand by the things that he's saying in his private group chat, and he's hemming and hawing, and he won't just come out and say what he actually believes about the Holocaust, which is probably that it's good, or that it didn't happen. I didn't believe the Holocaust happened until I was in 10th grade. So a lot of times in these places, people are prevented from learning realities of the world. I don't know what he's been taught or what information he has access to, but he obviously has certain beliefs that he knows he shouldn't be sharing. And to me, when I watch that clip, that's the biggest red flag for me, is that there's an awareness that what he believes is bad or shouldn't be spoken about in plain terms because it's not good.
Wow. Yeah, it is crazy how you have unique insight on it. Just a question, if you want to answer. What happens in those dialogues? Because like, for example, if my parents are expressing their political views to me back when I'm growing up, and then I'm expressing mine, it's all sort of like, sure, you could say that, they're saying their stuff, they say their stuff to other people, I say my stuff to other people, and then it's kind of all out public. But to your point, it's so fascinating how people with these particularly sinister ideologies it's not like they're walking around going, what? This is totally reasonable. They acknowledge that they'll be seen as crazy, 'cause they are, if they express it publicly. So when you first started going, I think I'm being isolated from the truth. What is the reaction in communities like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for me, I had already been kind of disconnected from the larger community, but within my own family, it was really just my mom at that point, and she didn't hold as strong beliefs. Like, she was just kind of what I would say is like your Uncle Gary's level of racism at that point, like the racism that people are
Leave
kind of
Gary
white
out of
people.
this.
I know the racism that white people are accustomed to, like going home and dealing with at the holidays. That was kind of the level of racism that it had become. It started out, going to Aryan nations and being present for the cross lightings and very intense, active white power engagement. And then it kind of dropped down to just like your everyday American racism. So I would say it was probably different in my case, different from the other reactions that you might get. But, they do talk about it in nebulous, almost like trying to make it socially acceptable terms. Mm-hmm. And throughout this 30-minute video, you saw that with all these people that have been attracted.
People need to raise the alarm. They're starting an all-whites town in the Ozarks and Arkansas. Yeah, they don't want no non-white people, non-Christian, LGBTQ, Jews. They're saying that you have to have a DNA test to live there that leads back to your ancestry being European. That's not crazy at all, is it? Well, they speak on rhetoric that they want to be able to choose their neighbors and they want to preserve white American culture. I mean, but you have to have ancestry of Europeans. So why don't you just, all that money that's being spent, why don't you just go back to fucking Europe at this point, like you tell everyone else? Now, this man that's ahead of this, he's trying to expand to Missouri, guys. How is this even allowed? They said it's a members-only association where they pay a fee and that's how they're getting away with it. Doesn't the power of the president have the ability to stop this? Like, this is clearly wrong, but this is the type of people that he encouraged. Now, I recall all throughout history when Black Americans tried to start their own community, their own economy and stuff like that, it got burnt down. Their towns got burnt down to smithereens. How the hell in 2025 are we allowing in the Ozark and Arkansas for them to build a whites-only community? I can't believe it, man. It's just unreal to me. Like, I'm having trouble. And it's just not Black Americans that can't live there. It's everybody. If you're non-white, if you don't have European ancestry, you are not allowed there. And he's planning on expanding. This is turning the clock back in history. The discrimination, the hate. This is absolutely unreal. And people are going to just let it happen. That's the way I see it. With that being said, guys, make sure you like this video, comment. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, follow me.
So for those of you that plan on moving to Arkansas to build the ricotta cheese only town, go ahead and do it. Do it. And don't be so concerned about why we're concerned about why you want to do it. We're actually not. The only concern that we have is, when are you going to call us to help you pack so that you could get there quicker? Because we could give two shits. But I have two conditions, though, for you guys to move. When you do move and you create that town, make sure that it's a town that you can't come out of, and the only people that could come in is more of you. I mean, when you think about it, what do you need to come out for? You have no reason to come out. So make sure that you have everything that you need. And speaking of everything that you need, condition number 2 is get rid of all the things in your life that were created by Black people, brown people, Spanish, whatever, that made your life a whole lot easier. Get rid of all those things and see how long you last. And you'll find yourself being preoccupied with what your neighbor's doing, because your whole existence was based on what we did. And now that you won't have us to observe and watch and lie on and whatever, see how long you last going against your neighbors.
Thank you so much for watching up until the end. If you are coming across the channel for the first time, please take a minute to like, subscribe and share. So now heading into our discussion, we find that in the recent reporting, it emerged that one of the founders of all these white town, that is Eric Owell, once live streamed his own sex videos online, and that revelation struck a dissonant chord. A man preaching about traditional values, about white purity, about white supremacy and moral conservatism, but with the past he tried to hide from the public. So now this hypocrisy undermined the movement's credibility, thereby inviting public outrage and renewed scrutiny from civil rights advocates and the media. So now the authorities are reportedly viewing whether the project violates US civil rights and housing discrimination laws. So this case exemplifies how even in 2025 segregationist white supremacist ideologies can evolve and attempt to reframe itself as a heritage community under the guise of private association. So the leaders use of coded language, selective ancestry vetting and legal loopholes show a deliberate effort to resurrect older racist structures in a way that tries to evade current laws and the social norms. But the movement, the moment one of its founders was exposed with a personal scandal about, that whole tape, the movement's veneer of righteousness cracked. Such hypocrisy makes it harder for them to claim moral high ground and, open a window for legal societal pushback. So more importantly, this is not just about a remote settlement in the Ozarks, but it speaks to a global pattern where extremist ideologies, cloaked as tradition or heritage, exploit the legal gray areas, anonymity, and private networks to spread. The case of return to the land is a warning. Communities worldwide must remain vigilant whenever such enclaves segregated by race, religion, or identity begin to be normalized. We all know that as a society we need each other to survive. There is no particular race that can do so on their own. The whites, the black, the browns, the Latinos, name them. We all have to coexist peacefully with each other. And in that way, we can tend to foster a good working relationship with each other. We know that for some time, the black community, black Americans, African Americans have been going through a difficult time, trying to cope, and trying to intermingle with the white supremacists, which has been a whole lot of work. But then it's time that we realize that we all depend on each other, and there is no particular race that can live without the support of the other. So thank you so much for watching, and if you're new here, please take a minute to like, subscribe, and share. Also, I would love to thank in a special way those who've been supporting the channel by liking, subscribing, sharing, joining the membership, supporting the videos through the super thanks, buy me coffee and all that. Man, I see you, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.